Hey friends, I have to apologize. I have been distracted and haven't been keeping up with making videos for this site. I've just been overwhelmed with work lately, so I'm teaching genetics, and also on top of that, I'm working with a student who's got various deadlines in front of her. She's got to get an abstract together for a in-house conference, and she's got to get together another proposal for summer research, and then we're going to be going to the American Arachnology Conference in June, and so we're thinking ahead to getting some results for that. So we've been doing a lot of projects. It's been keeping us busy, okay? That's my excuse. We've just been kind of buried in work. Uh, but I thought I'd just come along and say a few things here that about our spiders. So if you don't like spiders, just turn us off right now. I'll be showing you some spider videos and talking about spiders. Anyway, so we have been struggling for most of December and January trying to get egg sacs because we need embryos. And we've been struggling and flailing about trying to figure out what we're doing wrong. We got a 16-8 light dark cycle going. We're trying to maintain temperature. We're we've just been fussing about with all this stuff and keeping the spiders really well fed. And like for instance, we've thrown them some waxworms periodically and mealworms on top of the flies they get, and they just have not cooperated. They have not been making egg sacs for us all this time. And then we had a revelation because we realized this is Minnesota. It's winter time. And it's not just the lighting that changes in winter for us here. It's that it gets really cold outside, and that means we lose all the moisture in the air. It's just gone. So we thought, hey, maybe it's a problem with humidity. And so we've modified our cages a little bit. The key thing is we've got a little bit of sponge in each of the cages that we keep nice and moist. So we're trying to maintain a nice humid environment in there. And I was astounded. It worked surprisingly well. I guess they were just thirsty all that time. So we've given them plenty of water. And for instance, today we have got 10 egg sacs that are maturing right now, all laid within the last 3 weeks. So they're just pumping them out like mad, and we're actually wondering how the heck we're going to use all these spiders. Because with 10 egg sacs and 100 spiders in each one, do the math, that's going to be 1,000 spiders in March. And I do not have the facilities to take care of that. So we're thinking of a few projects that will lead to, unfortunately, early spider mortality. Going to be doing some microscopy and things with them. But that's good. That opens the door to lots of new experiments. And for instance, one of the summer projects we have in mind now is to do a staging series for Steatota triangulosa, which I haven't been able to find published anywhere. So we will do the first one. Okay, so that's where we're at. Everything's cruising along right now. We got egg sacs at the wazoo, and the scary thing is I've got over 30 adult female spiders now that I'm going through the process of breeding with the idea that maybe they'll produce even more egg sacs. I mean, this would be a wonderful condition to be in where we've got so many egg sacs that we've got more embryonic spiders than we can do experiments on. So that's promising. That's what we're working on. Anyway, so among the things we're doing is I go in every day and I've got a little collection of female spiders and I've got a few male spiders. This has been a little bit of a crisis that we've been running out of males. They're just so fragile and weak. So anyway, we're down to just a few males. And so I come in every morning and I pick a lucky female out of the incubator, and I put a male in with them. And that has started to work. We're starting to get some production, but before I was doing this lazy thing where I would just, okay, throw a male in there, close up the container, put it back in the incubator, and say, I'll come back tomorrow and see how things are doing. And then I read this paper that reported that in Parasteatota, a close relative of this spider, they've got less than a 30% successful mating rate. You put the males in there and the females, and they just kind of ignore each other and do nothing. Perhaps they're incompatible. Maybe they don't like each other. So I've been trying to be more thorough in evaluating the mating process. So nowadays what I do is I go in, I put the male in, and I sit there on the microscope for up to half an hour just being a voyeur, watching what they're going to do. And yeah, it's true. So far it looks like maybe a third of the cases we get successful matings, and the others, nothing happens. It just fizzles out, which means I got those 10 egg sacs out of a bunch of spiders. Most of them are still virgins. Yeah, they didn't produce egg sacs. It's the few others that do. So I'm carefully watching them and seeing what they do. And here's a case where this morning I got a nice successful mating, and I'll just show you what that is like. Yeah, that's what you want to see. You want to see the spider porn, right? Anyway, let's do it here. So I'm firing this up. Okay, so what do you see here? Well, this is a female spider, and she's kind of hovering around the corpse of a waxworm that's sitting there. And that was the male that just came walking into the field of view. The males are much more slender. They have long, skinny legs. These two were very affectionate with each other. It's like having the corpse of your most recent meal lying there is a very, very romantic thing for a spider. But mainly what you'll see is the males and the females just tap at each other. They extend their legs and then they walk away from each other. I felt like things were not going well here. But then they kept coming back. So it's like, yeah, we're interested. We'll do a few exploratory cuddles and taps and see what we can get. And then they'll be shy and they'll walk away from each other like these two are. But they'll come back. Give them a moment. The females will give, like right there you might notice their vibrating abdomen. That's a good sign. When their abdomen is just wiggling at a high frequency, that says, hey, maybe I'm really interested. And here comes the male, and look at his palps, the protrusions at the front of his head. They're kind of excited. He's going to keep sticking them out. Okay, they're getting closer. The male will shortly get close enough to start punching. Oh, did you see that? So they use their palps to intrude upon the female's epigyne, and so he's punching away at that. And I noticed here that he is consistently missing the mark. He's going wide of her opening. So there's no hope if he's going to do this. He doesn't seem to know where it is. He should. This male has gone through many females. We've been cycling them around, as I said. So he's spent the last 2 or 3 weeks. New female every day. Anyway, poor disappointed female. Nothing's happening here yet. So more affectionate tapping. That's always a good sign, and she's vibrating her abdomen. We've got some hope here. Okay, he's just got to get in the right orientation. He's coming around. It's going to be a little while. So really, I spend a fair amount of time just sitting there watching spiders either ignore each other, they go off into separate corners, or they start getting affectionate and they start tapping and wiggling and approaching each other. And again, you see, she's walking away. Come on, you know you want it. You can see her wiggling her abdomen still every once in a while, especially when she gets close to the male. And there he is. He's tapping away again. Now, also notice how the male's forelimbs, the front pair of legs, are really long and slender. And that's what they are for, is exploring and reaching out and touching the female while still a safe distance away. Okay, another separation. Come on. Come on, get back there. Ah, yeah. This is the frustrating thing about watching this, is that it takes them a while to get it together. I guess they gotta cuddle and things like that before anything will happen. But she's definitely agitated. Usually the females are just sitting quietly in their web, and they don't go through all these gyrations and all these rapid extensions of their limbs. That's what they do when they're after a little snuggle. Okay, here we go. This time it's going to take. So as you can see, his palps are already extending. He's going to get closer. Closer. Okay, look at him. Look at him punching away. And still missing, but he's at least close to the mark. And then, boom. He got it in. And then it locks in place. So they're going to sit there quietly. So his palp is extended. It's locked into her genitalia. In a moment, I'm going to change the magnification so we'll zoom in a little closer. You can see everyone kind of pulsing as they're locked in place. He's actually applying some pneumatic pressure, so you can see that long, thin palps extending up there, and at the end it's got kind of a balloon at the end. That is full of semen, and he's contracting over and over again, pushing it into her genitalia. I know, so romantic, isn't it? I think I'm going to change the mag again. Let's zoom in a little closer. You really want that close-up shot, don't you? Come on, guy at the microscope, get it together. There we go. So there we go. You can see that long, thin pipe coming from the male and terminating in the female, locking in very nicely. He's going to load her up with semen, and spiders then have a spermatheca that stores that sperm. So she only needs to mate once, and then she's set for a long time. Oh, they're done. So she'll store that sperm, and then we can get multiple eggs and egg sacs out of the female. Okay, backing up again. Again, look at the abdomen vibrate. She wants more. She's saying, you got 2 palps, you got 1 in me, let's get the second one going. And he's going to try. He's still game here. So there we go, more wiggling. He's gonna get up there and he's gonna punch with the other palp and see if he can make connections. Unfortunately, for the duration of this video, he's not gonna succeed. I watched him for a while and he kept trying. That's very good of him. Persistence helps. He kept trying, but it was just the same thing over and over again with this clumsy male punching at the female genitalia and failing to get it to the right spot. So I stopped recording and walked away, and of course, that's when he succeeded at last. So he got 2 couplings in here while I was watching. Then what I do is I take these spiders and I put them back in the incubator and let them sit there overnight, just in case he wants to try again. But the work has been done at this point. So now I have this female, and she is there. Look at those failures. He's trying so hard, and he just can't get it in. Okay. So he's not going to succeed at this point, but about 10 minutes later, he does. He keeps going at it for at least half an hour here, and he will finally succeed. And the female is very obliging. The female seems to be as into it as he is. As you can tell, just watch that abdomen, and every once in a while, just start wiggling madly. That seems to be a sign of receptivity in these females. Okay. Good night, everybody. Take it easy. There the spiders go, and I'll let them go rest. Now, I'm done with that. I'll stop showing you spiders. Maybe I'll just show you one of the end results of this is I've got some spider egg sacs. They look lovely. They're big and they're plump, and they have maybe 100 eggs in each of them. We've got them at different stages now. The first one was from January 27th. The most recent was collected just yesterday. Maybe she'll give us another one the next day or two. The ones from January are already showing signs of little baby spiderlings in there. I'm not showing it here, but if you focused in on the egg sac, what you'd see is all this movement inside the egg sac with all these spiders, little baby spiderlings, just wiggling around. They've gone through a molt already, and they're just sitting there taking it easy. Now, with Steatota triangulosa, I have been a little disappointed in one thing. You know, if this were Parasteatota, they churn out these eggs super fast. It takes about 10 days to go from a freshly laid egg sac to the spiderlings emerging. Triangulosa takes about a month. Yeah. So as I said, the oldest egg sacs we're starting to see spiders in the egg sac, but then I found that they're just so dilatory. They sit there and they just take it easy. It takes them a week or two to emerge from the egg sac, even though I can see they're quite active inside, which is okay. But this is one of the things we're trying to work around is Steatota triangulosa is a very interesting animal. It's got some interesting pigmentation patterns that we'd like to look at in development. The only drawback is that they're significantly slower than Parasteatota. Yeah, they take a month to eclose, to emerge from the egg sac, and then we've been manipulating their feeding regimens, and yeah, we can get them to breeding age in about 35 to 40 days. But we're going to try some things to speed that up as well. We're basically playing with feeding regimens and seeing if we can pump them up really fast and get eggs faster. But that means it's about a 2-month turnaround in order to get a next generation going. These particular spiders that you're looking at were 3rd generation. They were all descended from a single female that was captured by my granddaughter in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So we're trying to get this inbred line going. We're probably going to bring in some other males to get a little diversity in there as well. But having that continuity, I think, will help. So we've got them going. We'll see what happens. That's what I'm working on. That and paperwork, and trying to meet deadlines, and teaching. I'm teaching genetics, and I'm also teaching our introductory biology course, which was a little surprise because I wasn't scheduled to, but the person teaching has gone on maternity leave, which I wholeheartedly support. That is a good thing that we've got that kind of support for our faculty. It just means, unfortunately, that the other faculty have to step in and fill in for them, which we do willingly and gladly. So that's my life right now, is lots of classes, daily sex romps with the spiders, waiting for eggs to hatch out, and getting a bunch of abstracts together. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. That's kind of why I've been silent on YouTube for a while. All right, I will stop at that. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you all around sometime. Maybe I'll get back on track.